This review should really shake up the community of tech reviewers because, quite frankly, it looks like you're all being duped, in my opinion, being duped for some views and follows and likes and whatnot. So, I'm going to do the most proper review you're ever going to see of the Razer Cobra Pro. Now, I've had extensive testing with this. I'm going to tell you right now, as unbiased gets, this mouse is great. Probably Razer's best mouse release to date. Unbiased as possible, and I'll explain that in further detail. Welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Please, if you don't know already, stream live on Twitch. I upload to YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. I do all my socials, all of them. Please, the support would be truly appreciated. It means a lot to me, and because if people that know me already and those that don't know me, you will now know that I'm always trying to help out the consumer, but not specifying to a specific part of consumer. I'm going full on, just helping where it needs to be information wise and whatnot. Probably sound like I didn't word that really well, but you get where I'm coming from. So anyways, Razer Cobra Pro. Okay. The most controversial mouse on the market right now by Razer. Very controversial to people, a specific group of people, but not to everybody. And this is where I'm going to get into detail about it. So obviously I'm going to pull up the tech specs, but I'll give you my description of what my use case is right now, at least from what I've used in the past testing of a week now, and pretty much been maining it. The only thing I can say for sure is I'm still questioning if I'm going to keep it, and it's not because it's a bad mouse, it's because it's just smaller than what I'm used to. And I've been trying to get used to it. Like I said, I've been using it on for a week, maining it. And I can tell you right now, there's times where I feel like this thing's a little sporadic for me because of the shape, in terms of like how small it is. And there's also times where I'm flicking and I'm doing really good, really accurate, and tracking's pretty well, and I'm actually quite impressed. But that's because, again, I'm getting used to the shape maybe. This may end up being the main. As of this video being recorded, I haven't decided on that yet. But I'm very close leaning towards it being the main because, quite frankly, I know how amazing this mouse is. And I know the features that it has, and I know the aesthetics and everything. It's literally the full feature-packed mouse. Everything Razer trademark stamped. But it's also probably the best wireless mouse on the market, bar none. Get into more detail about that, okay? So, once again, like I said, my name is Braven, or technically Brandon Tyler, but I'm going to be changing my name again, but not to just Braven, but you'll see. But it'll be Braven. Again, everyone knows me by Braven. That's my old name. But anyways, regardless, I'm going to pull up the website, okay? And I'm going to show you guys the specs, tech specs, and explain how the tech specs work. You guys get a rough idea of what's going on. So, obviously, we have the overview of the Razer Cobra Pro, perfected for play. And honestly, I think I agree. The only thing I'm going to say, my two nitpicks about this mouse, and actually I'll go back to full screen for this real quick. The two nitpicks I do have of this mouse is, one, as you can see on that corner right there, I do have a small grip compared to the other side. As you can see, no grip on that edge, but on the other side there is a grip. And the reason why is because I've noticed when I first started using it that grip, or being that shell right there, kind of sticks out a little bit from my grip style. So it was kind of digging into my palm right here, and it was just a little uncomfortable. It wasn't like scratching it or anything. You can see like the pressure of it being there when I'm gripping it, because I grip pretty hard apparently. But I noticed it when I was gripping the mouse when I was gaming, because I'm a palm claw hybrid. So as you can see with the way I grip, let me see the grip it like I was gonna play competitively right now. You can see that I'm like palm in and then the claw grip. Hard to kind of show. That's how I grip my mouse gaming. This. So that was the one nitpick about it that it was happening to me. And then the other nitpick is I believe the pricing is just a little too much. And the reason why I say that is not because it's not a almost fair price for what Razer does, because Razer sometimes goes overboard with pricing. We all understand that. Because again, they're trying to be like the top tier, Gucci of Razer peripherals. That's pretty much what it is. But what they're trying to do is put this premium price tag on a premium mouse. But in reality, I think for it to be competitive as a purchase decision versus other mice similar to it, you got to kind of drop the price a little bit, especially because to get the full featured package, like the wireless dock and all that, even though I have it already from my Razer Basilisk V3 Pro purchase, this mouse, I believe, should be a little bit cheaper. So when you get the bundle, it gets close, maybe a little bit more expensive, but it gets close to the pricing of something like a competitive mouse. You know what I mean? So those are my two nitpicks. But anyways, back to the full screen. So obviously everyone has access to the Razer website and they can see this themselves, but I'm gonna just pull it up and give you the description. If you do buy it off the Razer website, there is a unlock in-game item. It's really just cosmetics for this new game Exoprimal coming out, which I'm going to definitely be looking into because I saw some gameplay on it. It looks pretty good, it looks pretty fun. It's a PvPvE game, but keep your eye out for that. Exoprimal, it's coming out pretty soon, made by Capcom, so it should be pretty interesting. Hopefully it's a good game. 10 customizable controls. It's just talking about all the buttons, all the, you know, the DPI switches right there, the scroll wheel, the side buttons, you know, on the bottom you have the power, or the profile switch, sorry, my apologies. Profile switch is where that light is, right underneath the light. And then you have the Bluetooth off button and 2.4 gigahertz switch. As you can see on my mouse, the wireless puck, charging puck is out, but this is the one that comes with, so it does come with one. This does add a couple grams to your mouse, so I personally took that out, and what I do is I swap the wireless charging puck, as you can see on the Basilisk here. I swap that to charge each mouse, and then I use them separately for certain occasions, obviously. But connectivity wise, 3 modes of connection, we just explained that. Hyperspeed wireless, which is 2.4 gigahertz, but it's actually one of the best 2.4 gigahertz because of the lowest latency testing that's been done on these mice. It's actually really top tier. Bluetooth and wired. Now, I haven't tested it wired, but I know the wire will add a little bit of weight. I don't plan on really testing it wired unless maybe if I want to use my dongle here and just have a use case for that dongle now, then or dongle, what am I saying, dongle? A bungee, the wired bungee that I got from Razer, which is a really premium high quality bungee as well. Unless I want to have that as a use case factor, I would plug it up wired, so that way I could, you know, at least say I'm enjoying my wired bungee. But regardless, as you can see, it's on the wireless charging dock. Looks good, sits proper, and again, this is one of the best iterations of a wireless charging feature, which is really, really nice. 11 zone chroma lighting, obviously you could see it on my desk right here. This is shining off of the Razer Atlas glass pad. I officially went to the glass pad not too long ago, but a little while ago, and I'm never going off of this glass pad. I think this is the main for the future. This thing is amazing, and I think combined with this mouse, it's even more amazing. Fucking spectacular. Any mouse I put on this glass pad has been nothing short of amazing, and it's truly a great purchase if you're even considering a glass pad. Also, to let you know, I am a Hisense action, like the style of play that I am. If you've seen my gameplay, then you would understand why I do that, and that's why this glass pad is perfect for that. Especially with micro adjustments, it's like, you know, like fine tuning adjustments. You can't beat this, and the coating on this glass pad is amazing. It's pretty much sweat resistant for the most part, so when it's in these hot summer days, I'm not sticking to the mouse pad or to the glass pad. It's fucking awesome. So anyways, enough with the RGB. Compact form factor. So talking about the size here, we'll go into tech specs. Actually, we'll talk about that when we go into tech specs. The optical mouse switches Gen 3, best iteration of the mouse switches, and I'll let you guys listen to the clicks on that in a second. And then the Razer Focus Pro 30,000 optical sensor. Obviously, it's the best sensor out in the market of any mice out there. So if you don't know, I'm gonna give you a little bit insight. A lot of people don't know this, but this is actually Razer trademarked this from PixArt. So no other mouse is going to have this sensor, and at least for the somewhat foreseeable future, maybe another year or two, I would say probably another year most likely, Razer's going to have the best sensor. So if you're looking for just a top tier tech, this is going to be it, until Pixar comes out with something even better maybe, and then another company tries to trademark it, or they just mass produce it. Then you're pretty much guaranteed the top tier tech right now as of today. So this is literally an amazing sensor, and which, by the way, they do specify it's great for glass pads. And I can tell you, going from the Focus sensor, the Focus 20,000 DPI sensor, to the 30,000 DPI sensor on a glass pad, it is definitely noticeable in high intense, you know, flicking around gameplay. So even though this mouse is smaller compared to the Viper 8 killers that I have, even though this mouse is smaller, I would say this mouse is more accurate than the Viper that the more full size that I'm actually more comfortable with in my hands. This is more accurate when I'm flicking around and target switching and stuff in certain games. So, and I truly think the sensors has something to do with that. So, to the tech specs, you got obviously what the connectivity options you have. It's right hand symmetrical, so sorry for left-handed users. I apologize. I hope they come out with something soon for that. The Razer Chroma RGB, again, you know, the best RGB in gaming peripherals, in my opinion. Looks the best, and it's just they know what they're doing. You can customize it fully. You got the Focus Pro 30K sensor. We just talked about that. Now, these are two big things here: is the max speed IPS 750, max acceleration G70. Now, in real world use, in terms of like testing purposes, you're never going to reach these speeds. But the fact that it can go up to that in terms of accuracy means that your flicks, as fast as you could throw them, will be the most accurate compared to any mouse on the market. People don't understand that. That's why it has to be specified in the tech specs. Otherwise, there's no reason to put it in there other than marketing. But in reality, it is true. That is the most accurate. As fast as you can flick this thing onto a target, say you're playing Valorant and you flick hard, if you're a low sense, flick hard and lock, it's going to be the most accurate possible. It might be not by much, but if you're talking about just wanting that extra little bit of a chance of being that much faster and that much more accurate in terms of pixel density, you know, pinpoint, the speed to get to that, boom, right there. You're going to be at your best of the best right there. 90 million clicks on the switches, obviously 100% PTFE. I would say compared to my Basilisk, which has that, this is definitely the best iteration of the Gen, or the, I would say, yeah, I think it's Gen 3 PTFE feet. So bravo to Razer on that. They're even upgrading that a little bit. So the approximate weight here is where I want to talk about is 77 grams. Okay. Before we talked about that though, the length is 119.6 millimeters, which is just slightly bigger than the Viper Mini. The width is 62.5, which I believe is just slightly thinner, and the height is 38, which is just very, very, very slightly taller than the Viper Mini. So, just wanted to point that out. So this is slightly, just a tad bit bigger in terms of length and height of the Viper Mini, but the width, I would say, is slightly more inward. And I think really, they say 62.5, but I want to say in my personal testing, I think the top shell, you can see right here, is wider, or at least as wide, if not wider. And then the downward side right here, which is like where it bends in to grip to near the bottom of the mouse, that is what I'm going to say is the smallest part, where it gets really thin. But I think personally, as I gotten used to it, I think it's actually really, really nice. 77 grams, 2.72 ounces. So that's that's excluding cable and dongle, but it's not talking about the puck. So when I put the puck in, right, this right here is at 77 grams. And the people that have nitpicking at this, oh, whoops, I just completely went back because I hit the back button on my mouse. Actually, I don't think it matters. We'll go to full screen. So the 77 grams, that's what I want to talk about. Obviously, we don't need, but the 77 grams, okay, is with this fully on. People are going to say that's heavy. They're going to say this is back heavy. So right now I'm lightly holding the mouse. There's no lean, and this is directly in the middle of the mouse. And you can see pinkies here. There's no lean. When you're using the mouse, would you say there's a little bit of back heavy? I mean, literally minor. That is not hindering the way the mouse feels at all. They're saying, people are saying, oh, like, because it's all these competitive esports guys that use ultra lightweight mouse. They're like, oh, it feels like a brick. This thing does not feel like a brick. This actually has better control than those ultra lightweight mice. Because those ultra lightweight mice, you're flicking and trying to be accurate, but in reality, you're literally overshooting and over sporadic. There's not really much pros using ultra lightweight mice. I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. But what I want to talk about is why I go from the wireless charging puck when I'm charging it and I take it out and I use it like so. Because let me tell you something that's going to bug people. Okay, can we talk about what was the most bought mouse couple years ago? And I'm gonna say before the G Pro Super Light, because clearly that shape was just game changing for people. Even though it was the safest, most basic shape, it was game changing for people. So that's why it sold. So what was before that? Go ahead and put in the comment section if you know what was before that. I'll tell you what was before that though. It was the Razer Viper Ultimate. And what did the Razer Viper Ultimate weigh? 75 grams. Guess what this weighs without the puck in it? 75 grams. Let me tell you something. This feels actually a little bit lighter than 75 grams. It's actually 74 grams, but it feels even a little bit lighter than that because it's smaller too. And once again, when you take that wireless puck out of the back of the mouse and use it, because you can use it like that, guess what happens? That little back heavy feel that people talk about, quote unquote, which is all, it's really BS, but all that back heavy talk that people talk about, gone. Now it's as balance gets. What a freaking miracle, right? Oh, also too, on top of that, that shape, slightly smaller than the Razer Viper, it's gonna work really well for people with small hands and people that do palm claw like I do, claw, and even fingertip. This mouse is really good. It's a great fucking mouse. So I recommend it wholeheartedly. I also put grips. I just got some grips in store. I think that grip's a little too kind of is. So I gotta re-put that grip on. As you can see, it's a little too forward to the top of that click. But yeah, this mouse is amazing, especially with the grips on it. I think it's top tier. The side grips, actually, that I want to talk about, is literally the best iteration of their side grips, in my opinion. Also, too, which I didn't mention this, I should have mentioned this from personal experience, the side buttons. Do they look familiar? I'll tell you why they look familiar, because they're very similar to what I believe is the best side buttons in the game, which is the Basilisk V3 Pro. I know that's going to be a personal opinion for people, but when I feel this click, oh my god, it's the best iteration. It feels so good. It feels like that's how it's supposed to be, you know? This mouse has the same feel of those buttons. I would say these are even more tactile, but it's still better. I think this is literally Razer's best iteration of this mouse to date. And as I was showing that and clicking all over the place, I literally backed out of my website page, but I'm pulling it up right now. So this is another thing I wanted to show you too, because people keep complaining, and this is going to the community that is talking about, oh, I want the best lightweight mouse in the world, ultra lightweight. I need it to be competitively professional. I need it so bad. Well, I'm about to shit on your parade pretty badly, because quite frankly, you've been not only duped by these tech reviewers that just want your viewership because they know that you're going to cry about it, but also because I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a mind-blowing fact here. Here we go. So here we go. What gaming mice do the pros use? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, just by looking at this picture alone before I even go down into below, there is a heavy Roccat here. There's a heavy Corsair here. There's a, I think that's actually a heavy Asus. There is the Glorious mouse here, and then a really heavy SteelSeries mouse. So yeah, no, you shouldn't even be tripping. Here we go. SteelSeries by Johan No-Tail Sunstein. He uses a SteelSeries Prime. This one is at 70, almost 70 grams. Actually, this is the more of the lightweight mouse. It's got older tech in it. So if he's using this on a consistent basis for 38 bucks, that's actually a pretty good deal. But for an 18,000 DPI sensor, don't use it on a glass pad. It will give you issues. This mouse will be pretty good. Well, I'm not gonna say pretty good because I haven't gone to the full-on review of it, felt it, tested it. But if this pro's using it and he likes it, I mean, shit, it's working. Then you got Simple here. Now, this is one of the examples of G Pro Super Light, ultra lightweight mice, right? This mouse is at 63 grams. Okay, great. Now, you know, I have my, you know, issues with Logitech mice and their cheap switches that they put in it, but and price raising bullshit. But we're not gonna talk about that. Okay, we're just gonna talk about what the mice are using, or what the pros are using, and the weight. So right here, MIMS using a Logitech G900. This thing has a 12,000 DPI sensor at 107 grams. This is literally 25 plus grams more than what this mouse is. And he's doing high competitive gaming. What is this? He's a Fortnite guy, right? No, FPS Valor. My apologies. Then you got Faker. Obviously, Faker's using an example of an ultra lightweight mouse. So you're obviously going to have your pros using ultra lightweight, and your pros are going to use heavy mice. Here you go. Sumail. Okay, Sumail, apparently he's a Dota 2 player. SteelSeries Sensei 310, 92 grams, 12,000 DPI sensor. So these guys are using old tech and mouse is still performing at a high level, making money. You got Rops here using the Zowie BenQ EC2. Right here, 73 grams. So it's only 2 grams less than this, or actually 1 gram less than this when you take the puck out. 3200 DPI sensor. 3200. Not 32,000, 3200. This is a 30,000 DPI sensor. This sensor is miles above this mouse. Oh, did I mention this has 4,000 hertz polling rate when you use the wireless dongle? So not only is this thing registering most accurately to your computer, These guys are using 1000 hertz and still competing at a high level. So you're getting a fully featured pack mouse. And you can be competitive with it. Logitech G402. Okay. And we got the G402 here at 108 grams with a 4000 DPI sensor. You get my point, right? So my point being is, after I've literally fought tooth and nail on you guys on this and trying to help you guys out, is I could go in there and be just as competitive as pros out there, and I'm using this Bassless V3 Pro, which is plus grams of weight. Okay, shape is important. I'm actually going to be coming out with a video about 4 different mice, different shapes and styles. So I want you guys to check that out when you guys see that, so you guys get an idea of what you're looking for if you're searching for a new purchase of a mouse. But I do want to talk about this mouse being the purchase for you. If you're looking for a mini mouse, maybe a palm claw hybrid or a fingertip, those are probably your best options for this mouse, because that'd be the best fit purposes. You can do palm claw like me. I think this works really well, especially where the thumb buttons sit on the sides. It's actually really good for palm claw. But if you're fingertip, this thing will be perfect for you too. It's going to be mass produced, so you will be able to get this mouse respectively easily. There's nothing more I can say other than you won't be disappointed if you buy this mouse. And there's one thing I could tell you about tech reviewers that have reviewed this mouse. They all say it's a good mouse still. They're just saying, who's this mouse for? It's up in arms. We don't know. Why is it made? It's a waste of being... No, it's not a waste of being made. This is the newest addition to the Razer line. This is a slightly different Razer Viper Mini. But guess what? Razer Viper Mini is not going to be made anymore. You know why? Because they're tired of calling the smaller mouse the Mini. So guess what? You have the Razer Cobra Pro. Okay? The Viper Mini is the past. This is the future. Okay? And yes, even they've changed the style a little bit, the tech specs of it a little bit. And man, is this mouse great. I am fucking pleased. I don't know if I'm going to keep it because, like I said, it's just a little smaller for my hands personally. I'm trying to get used to it. It has my ups and downs. But I would love to have a new mouse to go, you know what, I feel like rocking an Ergo mouse today for my MMO games or maybe even some shooter games. Depending on what, like, I like to have 2 options specifically because one mouse might be acting a little different to me, and one mouse might be actually perfect for me, vice versa. So I can swap between the 2, especially on the fly would be really nice. So, in my opinion, should you get the Razer Cobra Pro? Abso-fucking-lutely. It's a great mouse. It's the best iteration of this mouse, or technically of the Viper series, that I believe ever. The Viper SE is obviously, the Viper Mini SE is its literal competition, the ultra lightweight version or whatever. And I can tell you right now, for the price that they're offering for it, which I understand because it's supposed to be a special edition or signature edition, should I say, for the price for it, I kind of understand what they're trying to do, but it's still overpriced. And I think this for $130, even if you're using it at 1000 hertz, you're gonna be fucking doing amazing with it. You're gonna love it. It's gonna feel great. It's gonna look great. And if you don't like the RGB because you're like, oh well, I don't want the RGB, I don't care about RGB, turn the damn RGB off. You could even have a profile, so when you click on it, click your profile button here, you can go, oh, you know what, I kind of want to sit on my desk and look pretty. Boom, there you go. Put your RGB back on. Oh, you know what, I want to play competitively and I don't care about I just want the battery life to last. Boom, hit that profile button. Guess what, now you're at a competitive advantage and your mouse is gonna last. Okay, there's really no reason to not get this mouse if you're looking for this size and shape and everything. It's a great mouse. It's honestly, I think, the best Razer mouse to date in terms of everything that's in it and what they're trying to do. I understand entirely. And this is unbiased, by the way. This is 100% being real. That's why I said I don't know if I'm going to keep it because of the shape. I don't know the shape for me personally, it being this small, is something that I could get used to over time and then main it and do really good with it. I need the mouse for me to be perfecting who I am as a content creator for what I do, playing at a high competitive level, as people have seen on my stream. So, like I said, if you want to come talk with me about this and chill, I'll probably have this for another week or 2 because I have a little bit of a window if I do decide to return it, so we could discuss the Razer Cobra and you guys could give your opinions on it and what's going on. Or, you know, if you're going to try to leave hate, it will just be deleted in the comments. Or if you come to my stream and bring hate, which I hate to say it, but it will just be handled as such. But again, proper discussions. I gave you an unbiased review. I want you guys to enjoy your mouse. If you're going to purchase it, you will be happy. Hopefully Razer puts this on sale because it definitely deserves to be on sale for the price. Drop it to a fair price. And hopefully you guys could get the wireless charging dock too. get the full competitive advantage of this. Or you could just get the dongle. Either way, this is the dongle that it comes with, but you could get the hyper polling dongle as well on their website. Hopefully they're producing that. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed that review. We're getting this uploaded as soon as possible because I had to do this. This is the third time I've done this video because I've changed some things up, making sure you guys understand where I'm coming from. But this was really more of a shot at the tech reviewers. I think you guys really need to do a more in-depth review and better actual testing of the mouse, and no biased, no biased freaking I'm trying to rake in views type of comments. I need you guys to really start stepping your game up because I watch your guys' tech reviews. And trust me, some people out there, I'm going to name a few that are actually good. Bad Seed Tech and Aim Adapt is pretty well, and Fresh Reviews. Those are the three that I would recommend 100%. If you're going to watch tech reviews, you can kind of get a fair judgment on some things. I think Bad Seed Tech is probably the utmost of truth telling and very in-depth detail of reviews. Fresh Reviews, I believe, is just more if you're talking about again, a more skilled person using the products and testing the products, definitely go to his reviews. I've actually gotten these ET900 Pro X's because of his reviews on audio, and this paired with the feel has been game-changing, so props to him for helping me out with that. I appreciate that. And then obviously Aim Adapt is the only one where I've seen talk about this mouse and not been biased. I mean, obviously he talks about kind of going, well, what is the community, whose mouse is this for, or whatever, but in reality he just praises this mouse as it should be praised because it really is something special. So and before I go, I know I forgot to talk about one thing because I literally was just so distracted about all this, so I'm gonna say it real quick before we get off. But the shell on here is a little bit smoother, and I don't want to say grippier, but a little bit smoother than the Basilisk V3 Pro's shell, which I would say that's more of like a rougher PBT keycap feel, but pretty durable. This mouse has more of a softer shell, and again, from what I can see, no fingerprint residue. It's actually one of their best feeling shells, but the problem is I think in terms of gripping it, it's going to slide more than the actual PBT Basilisk. So just future reference. Maybe if you start sweating a little bit, it'll grip a little more, but they should honestly go with, next time on a mouse, go with the Death Adder V3 wired shell. I have the Death Adder V3 wired, done a review on it. That shell is probably their best shell today. It leaves fingerprints, but it grips the best. You probably don't even need grips for it. But this mouse, putting grips on it and everything, top tier mouse, you're going to love it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next. Take it easy. Peace out.